Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, How to Prepare for Your Life After King's. I'm Francine, the Alumni Engagement Manager at King's. And before we delve into today's webinar, I wanted to remind you that this webinar is part of a How To series, which has been specifically created for students and alumni who are in the early stages of career development. They are also relevant for any alumni looking to make a career change. And you can find past webinars on our KCL Alumni YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the chat later on. To also look out for future how-to webinars in your monthly e-news. Don't forget that you can use our King's Connect platform to connect with students and alumni, grow your network, join a mentoring program, and access your alumni benefits. You can also use our new initiative called Forever King's Edge, which is your one-stop shop where you can access tailored King's offers and opportunities to skill up and stand out from the crowd. So before we start, just a reminder to make use of the Q&A feature of this webinar. You can submit questions throughout the discussion so that the speaker can address them during the Q&A, and you can upvote questions that you want to give priority to. Our speaker today is King's alumnus and staff member, Momin Saqib. You would have seen his bio when registering to this webinar, but just briefly to tell you that Momin obtained a BSc in Computer Science with Management at King's in 2019. He was a very active member of KCLSU, has been elected KCLSU president in 2017, and was awarded an honorary life membership, having gone above and beyond to drastically improve the student experience through KCLSU and for the King's community overall. Following his studies, Momin became an engagement officer at King's. Momin is also the co-founder of 1 Million Meals, an emergency response initiative during COVID in the UK, to provide fresh hot meals and beverages to frontline key workers, which led him to be recognized as a Commonwealth Youth COVID-19 hero at the Commonwealth Youth Awards 2021. He also received the Points of Light Award in the same year. So as you may have gathered from this introduction, Momin has had an extraordinary experience while studying at King's and has extensive knowledge about the opportunities King's offers for both students and alumni. Today, Momin will share his inspiring story and his advice on how you can upskill with King's and our global community. Hello, Momin.
Hi, Francine. How are you? Firstly, thank you very much for providing me with the opportunity to become a part of this webinar. And on top of that, I'm extremely humbled with the introduction and of course, honored, but looking forward to, having a great conversation and taking questions from everyone and also sharing my life journey.
Thank you very much for being with us today, Momin. I'm very excited about this webinar and I'm sure our audience is as well. And to start with, I was wondering if you could let us know about your experience as a King's student. From what you've told me, your start at King's didn't really look like what you expected it to be. So I guess the first question would be, when did you realize you needed to find opportunities outside of your studies, and why did you go for these opportunities?
Wow, so you're taking me back in time. My journey in King's started back in 2014, and as you said, the start was not really as I expected it to be. I missed out on the Freshers Month, which is September, where King's is organizing events and activities for all these students to settle, make friends, get to know more about what King's has to offer. And whether you're an international student or a home student, you're feeling overwhelmed starting your journey in university. Even if you're a home student, you're coming from the north, coming to London, a metropolitan city, coming to a place like King's, it can be overwhelming. And of course, me, coming from a different country, different culture, it was overwhelming. So on top of that, as you said, I had some problems with my visa application, so I was a month late. because of which I missed out on the opportunities to make friends, to really get to know people. And, that's the time when you make friends. But I started my journey, and for the first couple of weeks, I had no friends. But to be very honest with you, I knew that I was surrounded by opportunities at Kings, and I had to make the most out of these opportunities. I had to make the most out of my time at Kings, because Kings was literally around me. There was so much that I could really utilize to develop myself as a person, become a well-rounded individual. And that is when my journey started. I joined different student societies, different cultural societies, from joining, the Pakistani society to the Entrepreneurship Society. And that is when my passion for entrepreneurship developed, to literally joining the Hot Chocolate Society. And, when I say the Hot Chocolate Society, it's not really something around hot chocolate, it's around providing food to the homeless community. So the reason I just mentioned this is that Kings has so much for the students. You think of something and you have a society for it. And if you don't, you can start a society of your own. So, joining the societies really helped me make new friends, connect with people who were different from me, who came from different environments, different cultures, and really, enabled me to see the world through the eyes of another person. So that was quite good and quite helpful for me. And on top of that, I'll be honest with you, I also wanted to enhance my own student experience and the student experience of other students, because at Kings, you really get the opportunity to co-create. Kings gives you the opportunity to co-create your student experience. And the Students' Union is a great way to do that. So I, joined the SU, ran in the elections, got elected as the International Students Officer, and then got elected as the Vice President, and then got elected as the president. And that really enabled me to enhance the student experience of my fellow friends. Because I'll just give you a quick example. During my first year, I did not go back home during the winter break. And there wasn't much to do. As an international student, the university is closed. There are not many people around. So you do feel a bit lonely. But after getting elected as the vice president, I worked with the university on an idea where Kings is now open for all international students during the Christmas break with free food, free activities, just to make sure that, Kings is there for them, even when it's closed. So the point here is that Kings really gives you the opportunity to co-create your student experience, to enhance it. Because, when you're part of Kings, this is your home, and Kings was home for me. So nonetheless, joining these student societies, these activity groups really helped me make friends, connect with people, enhance my student experience. And at the same time, running in the elections enabled me to co-create my own student experience. And then again, as I said, Kings just changed me as a person. I've developed a lot. And, when I became the president, I was speaking to you about this the other day. I was given the opportunity to be part of the team that was working towards developing the Global Leadership for Women's Institute, where I had the opportunity to work with the former Prime Minister of Australia, Julia Gillard. Even got the opportunity to invite the Higher Education Minister, Sam, for a conversation on freedom of expression, to ensure that universities are places where, we have those intellectually stimulating debates, conversations, and we advance knowledge. Now, the point is that when you see your institution working on initiatives like Global Institute for Women's Leadership, when you see your institution working on making the world a better place, and it resonates with your value system, the value system and the principles, when these value systems of the institution resonate with your value system, you get more connected towards it. You develop a stronger bond. You develop a much more authentic relationship where you feel proud. You take pride in being in an institution where you see that this institution is not just giving me knowledge, it's also doing exactly what I feel strongly about. If I feel strongly about making the world a better place, the institution that I'm a part of is doing the same. So when you see your institution doing all these things like working on women's leadership, working on advancing peace building knowledge, working on making the world a better place, I felt that, you develop more love. So Kings was, just an absolute amazing experience. And of course, I feel lucky that I joined Kings. And then I also had the opportunity to represent Kings internationally in Nigeria, in the US, in Australia, as part of Plus Alliance. We worked on creating a student council amongst these three countries and institutions of these three universities, on how we can tackle problems that students face globally around mental health, except, and there's several other things. So, it really gave me that international exposure, the opportunity to, of course, work with academics, who've got a vision of changing the world. So, of course, when someone asks me about my experience at King's, I get all excited, because it's been like a roller coaster ride, full of learning, full of positivity, and something that, I truly feel grateful for. And I always tell all these students I meet that, if you're starting your journey at King's, remember that you're surrounded by opportunities, and now it's up to you to make sure that you use all these opportunities and not let them go, because King's has all that you need to achieve whatever you want to achieve in life. So just blessed to be a part of this institution, and this institution has given me a lot. So yeah, now as an alumni and then as a staff member, I think I've ticked all the boxes that make up the King's community, because the King's community is made up of students, staff, and alumni. So I started off as a student, became an alumni, and then I'm a staff member now. So yeah, it's an honor. It's an honor.
It really feels, when you talk about this, that you found a family. You talked about how you were alone at Christmas time, and actually so like a lot of opportunities there. Was it something that you imagined about a university? Like, I don't know, when you join a student union or student society, you think that you might make some friends, but you don't necessarily realize that you might be representing your university internationally, or working around, Joe Gillard and other people who are very impressive and are there to really make a difference in the world. So yeah, I guess, like, how do you think that really the student experience, as like going into student societies, is much more than just making a few friends? It's really about developing new skills without even knowing how it's going to happen. You just go there and then you make friends, and everyone is welcoming and really want to enhance everyone else's experience.
Of course, no. It's just so natural that, as I said, you don't even realize that where would this take you. You just join a society because you want to, live your student life to the fullest. You want to make friends. And when you do that, you don't even realize how you're developing different skill sets, how you're enhancing yourself. And, if we really break it down, as a student, when I joined, for example, when I joined the Italian society, for me, it was just, connecting with people from a different culture, but I never realized that I was enhancing my interpersonal skills.
Mm-hmm.
I was truly making use of the diversity we have at King's. I was enabling myself to see the world through the eyes of another person. I was becoming more tolerant towards different views. I was being exposed to how there's a world that is just so different from the world that I came from. And I was learning to, develop skills where we work together with other people who are different from you. And we then come out with solutions for different global problems, just because we have that diversity of mindsets, diversity of culture. So as you said, it's just so exciting. It's such an exciting opportunity that King's has to offer. Yeah.
And how do you juggle between all these societies? Because I feel like a lot of people would, want maybe to focus on their studies. You've obviously very impressively joined loads of them, but I kind of wonder for, students who would like to join maybe one or two, is not really sure, especially like freshers, when maybe you want to focus more on your studies. How would you do about this?
Okay, so that's a very interesting question, and a question that I get asked quite a lot, even when I was a student, that how do you manage? So firstly, what I say is that as a student, when you start your journey at King's, you should really go to the Freshers Fair. That's where you get to see all these more than 200 societies showcasing what they have to offer. So the first month is for you to really see what you're passionate about, what you like to be more involved with. And of course, you don't have to join all these 300 societies, but you really need to make sure that you can keep up that right balance, because of course, I don't want you to affect your studies. You need to you need to ensure that your grades are up to the mark, but at the same time you need to understand that the student experience consists of two things. One, what happens inside the classroom, which is all about the degree, the curriculum, the course, and one, what happens outside the classroom, which is all about the events you attend, the societies you're a part of, the friends you make, the extracurricular activities you're a part of, and these two combine and make up the whole student experience. So you really need to make sure that you've got that enhanced, wholesome student experience, which would only be achieved if, of course, you've got the right balance between what is happening inside the classroom and what is happening outside the classroom. So it's really about having that right balance. But for me, King's was my life. I would enter the campus at 9 or 10 and then literally go when I wanted to sleep. Otherwise, I'd go to different events every day after my class. And again, it was an experience for me. And I truly look back and tell myself that I'm glad I really went to all these events from different societies, different cultures, and they just gave me such such exciting perspectives on life. And I'm just really grateful for that. But there's so many other opportunities for both students and alumni, if you want me to touch upon that. Within King's, outside your classroom, apart from your degree, you've got the Entrepreneurship Institute, right? Which is it's such an exciting initiative and provides such great opportunities to our students, because entrepreneurship is such an exciting thing. It's about coming out with solutions, innovative solutions around changing the world, creating impact. Entrepreneurship is about it's about experimentation. It's about testing things until assumptions become real solutions. So the King's Entrepreneurship is such an exciting opportunity where it's enabling our students who've got great ideas around different things, whether it could be social entrepreneurship, whether it could be something around an idea that you want to work on and make a success. So we've got the entrepreneurship with all the support that you need. And they've got different initiatives within the Entrepreneurship Institute, like the King's Accelerator Program. The Accelerator Program accepts different ventures, whether they're at the idea stage or they've developed the minimal viable product, or they're doing customer research. And this is for our students and alumni. And it's quite interesting that more than 120 ventures have been launched so far through the King's Accelerator Program, and they've collectively raised over 39 million pounds, if I'm not wrong. So it's been a great success. So as a student, as an alumni, you've got different ideas. You want to work with mentors, like-minded people. You want that expertise around funding, around promotions, marketing. Get in touch with the Entrepreneurship Institute, and it's something that we shouldn't really miss. And even for our international students, the Entrepreneurship Institute provides the startup visa. If you've got an idea that you want to work on, pitch it to the Entrepreneurship Institute. They'll endorse you. You'll get a startup visa. And apart from that, opportunities like the cultural competency Kickstarter now. I feel it's so important, and it's so enlightening that King's has developed this cultural competency Kickstarter. It's an extracurricular module that enables you to see the world through the eyes of another person, that enables you to reflect on your own identity, that helps you to communicate across difference, communicate across disciplines. It helps you to understand your positionality. It helps you to truly make the most out of the diversity we have at King's, because it's when you see the world through the eyes of another person, you develop empathy. So this is a module that can be accessed by all students. So I think that these students should really take part in the cultural competency Kickstarter. And now we also have a campaign in which the alumni can get involved and tell us about how the ability to interact with people from different cultures and backgrounds at King's helped them develop certain skill sets, which are helping them now in their life beyond King's. So, these are such great opportunities. And then the volunteering opportunities. Again, coming back to my point, when you see the institutional values resonate with your values, it develops a sense of community. It develops a sense of love. And King's is so much focused around making the world a better place, around service to society. We've got so many volunteering opportunities within the KCLSU, so many societies who are focused around volunteering and fundraising. And then we've got a dedicated service team at King's. And the Global Day of Service, we've got it this month. There's so many different opportunities that our students can get involved with. And let me tell you that every year during the Global Day of Service, we've got alumni from across the globe working together and volunteering. And just for last year, 544 volunteers from 53 countries spent more than 2,323 hours volunteering. This is the sense of community we have at King's, how everyone, even after they've left King's, are coming together for the Global Day of Service, volunteering around making the world a better place. This is the sense of community we have at King's, and it's just phenomenal. It's just overwhelming. And on top of that, we have the service time for all staff members. King's gives an opportunity for all staff members to, take time out from their job and volunteer. It could be with an organization, with an NGO. So they've got a service time, and I'm not sure exactly how many days it is, but as far as I remember, probably 1, 2, or 3 days. So, things like these, when you see your institution working on such things together with the students, with the alumni, it just makes you feel more happy. So the King's Entrepreneurship, the Cultural Competency Kickstarter, different volunteering opportunities, get involved with the Global Day of Service this year. And Francine, I'm sure you're throwing in the links for people to know how they can get involved. We've got so many different activities that I can't even tell you. We've got different marathons, different activities. So, we've got a web page, and I'm sure Francine has shared the link. Otherwise, I can also share it again. But absolutely, it's as I started my talk by saying, it's surrounded by opportunities. Whether you're a student, staff, or even alumni, you need to make the most out of it. So yeah.
Thanks, Ramin. So I'm just thinking, now that you've mentioning a bit more about volunteering at King's, I wonder if you could tell us more about your experience. You co-founded Tayaba in 2007, and you also co-founded 1 Million Meals. And I wonder if you can tell us a bit more about those two projects and how you feel that King's helped you co-founding those two projects.
Yeah. So, of course, Tayaba, end 2016 and 2017, and then 1 Million Meals during COVID. So Tayaba I co-founded whilst I was a student. And again, this is where I'd like to go back to the point about managing your time, having the right balance around making sure that you're also focused on your degree. You're also making the most from all that the university has to offer outside the classroom. And you're also working on things that you feel passionate about. So started off, we co-founded it as a student. We would give little chunks of time every day. And again, with an initiative where you want to have an impact, it's very important to find like-minded people. because, as they say, teamwork makes the dream work. So it was me, my brother, and then, we got in touch with other students who were studying in universities across the UK. And that is when the journey started, by first doing some research, then developing the H2O wheel, then coming to Pakistan, visiting all those places where people are suffering from the inaccessibility of water, making sure that we can uplift those community which are suffering from that water crisis. So again, it was a journey. Taiba was a whole journey, because I was a full-time student, and then I was even involved with the SU. So initially the progress was slow, but there was progress. And as you continue with your journey, you get more people involved, the team grows, and you don't even realize when it blows up and you have an impact. But I think the intention has to be right, where we really wanted to do something for others who are not as blessed and as privileged as we are. And then, of course, COVID happened. We could have never thought something like this would hit us, and then just stop the world from working. And of course, everyone wanted to do something, but people weren't sure, what do we do? There were different opportunities, and this is where we thought, I'm not a doctor, I'm not at the front line, but what can I do? We could support the frontline key workers. We could do something for them, because they're helping us. They are fighting this war. So again, it was me and three of my friends, my brother included. Again, as I said, it's about the team. It's about working as a team. And this is where I'd like to slightly go back to the cultural competency Kickstarter, because that really helps you to work effectively in a team of people who are different from you, who think differently, who come out with innovative ways of approaching solving problems, who've got different outlook towards their life. But again, service to society was something that I strongly feel about even now. And this is something that I got from my family. I've seen my family from a very young age, doing whatever they can to support those who are not as blessed and as privileged as we are. So, it's, and this is where entrepreneurship also comes in place. It's always about, finding a good solution for a problem that exists. It's about improving the life of people around you. So I'm glad that 1 million meals, Kings really helped me, because of course we had to get in touch with different doctors, hospitals. So St. Thomas guys was of big support. Why? Of course, because Kings has a large medical school, and I had so many friends who were doctors. So this is where those networks, those connections, those friendships that I've developed, they're helping me now, and they've helped me all my life, towards for anything and everything that I want to do. So this is where I say that, really making the most of your university life, developing those friendships, meeting those people who've come there from across the globe, and not just across the globe, even within the UK, from different parts, because they all have different outlook towards life. So it really helps you, all your life. And as I said, I've got a big WhatsApp group, a Pakistani alumni WhatsApp group. And even when I went to Nigeria on behalf of Kings, we had a dinner with the alumni there, and some had graduated in 1970s, some were from the 1990s. So it's just so amazing meeting all of them, and getting their perspective on how their life at Kings was, and how it all changed, and how Kings is still a part of their life, and it has left a mark, and it carries it's just with them all their life. So yeah, that's a quick brief of the journey I've had with Tayyiba and 1 million views.
Thank you very much for such inspiring stories, really. It's quite amazing how you always mention that the network and other people were very important and at the core of what you were doing. And I wonder what would be your tips to recent grads and students to stay in touch with the King's Global Alumni community. I don't know if most of you who are hearing us today know about our King's Connect platform, where you can connect with. Now we've got over 19,000 fellow alumni students where you can also find a mentor there. But I wonder, Momin, with your experience, what would you recommend and what would be your tips with what we provide at the moment for students and recent grads?
As you said, I think everyone should join the King's Connect and mentoring scheme. It's a great way to connect with these alumni across the globe. As you said, you've got over 19,000 fellow alumni there, and it's always a great opportunity to find someone who can really equip you with the right mindset around tackling, the world with confidence, as you said. And again, it's so important, if you can find a mentor in a relevant field, because that just enhances your employability skills. It gives you invaluable knowledge. It increases your professional network, and you never know. It just helps you to effectively navigate between the job market. And of course, even in addition to that professional network, you also get to socialize with these alumni across the globe. I mean, for me, it really helps whenever I'm traveling in a country, I've got someone from King's there that I can get in touch with or connect. So King's Connect is an absolutely a phenomenal initiative by the alumni team, and I'm thankful to you guys for providing us with that opportunity. So everyone should join that. On top of that, we've got Forever King's Edge. Again, it's like a one-stop solution where King's offers students and alumni to skill up their professional development. We've got different courses from digital skills, and even for students, we've got the Student Opportunity Fund, and there are so many other opportunities that students can make full use of. And I'm sure if you throw in the link there, our students can absolutely look into that. And apart from that, we've got the King's Alumni Distinguished Awards, where you can nominate a fellow alumni who has had a notable achievement around service to society or a professional notable achievement. It's just a good way to stay connected with your institution, be appreciated for what you've been doing. And then we've got the KCLSE Awards, where you can nominate an alumni, or you can even nominate yourself. We've got different awards categories, and not just nominate yourself or win an award. You can even come to experience the award and experience the King's vibe, because it's just absolutely the King's Award, the KCLSE Awards are phenomenal. So do stay in touch with your institution through all these different initiatives like King's Connect, KCLSE Awards, King's Alumni Distinguished Awards. We've got different WhatsApp groups, different groups for different countries. So join the group for your country and join the group for any other country also. Why not? We all are King's alumni. We all are the King's family. And then we've also got the KCLA, the King's College London Alumni Council. You can also be a part of that. They're always organizing great events, and you can join them. We've got their details. We've got their details on the King's website, so you can even join the King's alumni network. Apart from these things, and I mean, and on top of that, you should always visit King's. Come back to campus, get a look and feel of how it's evolving, how it's enhancing itself. And if any one of you is on campus, send me an email and I'd be super happy to show you around.
Thank you very much, Momin. That's really helpful. And I think we'll open to questions in a minute, but just I actually have a question for you about what you said, like keep connecting with people. Do you have any tips on how to reach out to someone that, even though they're from the alumni community, you don't know? And I guess when it's in person at a networking event, it's slightly easier because everyone knows why they're there. But when you're online, for example, it can be a bit daunting. And I know that some students or recent grads don't really know how to do this. So what would be your tip around getting in touch with someone you don't know online?
Okay, so I think first of all, that's a very good question. And second of all, this is where I absolutely understand that when it's an in-person networking event, it's much easier to just go and break the ice and start a conversation over a cup of coffee or a drink. But this is where I think King's Connect is exactly the platform that helps you to tackle this issue, because everyone who's a part of King's Connect is already willing to support, is already willing to help, has joined the network so that they can connect with everyone around you. So first of all, you need to understand that as part of if you're on the platform, if there's anyone you feel like you need to get some advice from, guidance from, an alumni who's in a similar career path, they're looking for you. They'd be more than happy to, answer your question, to have a conversation, because this is the reason they've joined that platform. And even if it's a WhatsApp group, you can, as I said, for me, we're all part of the King's family. So you can just be very candid and like a quick off the cuff message that, hey, I'm a recent graduate, or I did this, and you also did the same course. So, I already feel that, someone like you would be amazing for me to get some guidance from. So they'll, of course, I am sure they'll feel good helping you, supporting you. So, just go for it. It's like Nike, just do it, because of course they are there to help. They'll be willing to support, and don't overthink too much. This is the King's alumni community, and we all are here for each other. So just get in touch and throw in that message.
Thank you, Momin. So we had a few questions from before this webinar. Are you happy to start with telling us how can people take diverse student interests like yours out into their career?
Is that the question from Ellery? Because I can read a question. What knowledge has your involvement? Is this the question, or is it a different question?
It's the first one that we shared with you.
Okay, I'll just read it.
How can people take diverse student interests like yours out into their career?
How can people take diverse student interests like yours into their careers? Just to be specific. I mean, just to elaborate on this question, is it around different interests you have as a student in terms of the societies you join? How do you take those forward into the career? Because I just want a bit elaboration on the question.
Yes, I would say that's what you just mentioned.
Okay, fine. Then around that, like, I'll give you an example. So did we get a message there? Okay, perfect. Ellery says yes. So I'll give you a couple of different examples. I had some friends who were very passionate about investment banking, about banking, and they were part of the business club. So the business club at King's is one of the best business clubs in Europe. So when you're part of that, the business club is organizing amazing networking events where they're inviting one of the best investment bankers from across the world, from all these best institutions like JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, etc., etc. And you get to interact with those people as a student. You get to learn as to how they navigated the job market, as to how they went around, applying for that job. First went for an internship. So things like these really help you. So this is where, whilst you're a student, you start thinking about your career. If you want to go into banking, you should go for the spring week in your first year. You should apply for a summer internship in your second year. And then in your third year, apply for the jobs. And you will be supported in this journey through the different activities you're a part of, through the investment banking society, through the business club. So these societies and the networking events you go to because of these societies really help you. You find mentors, as I said. Let's take a different example. For the law society. The law society is amazing. You want to go into law, or it's a cliche. I mean, it's a simple example. Let me just talk about the tech society, or you want to go into blockchain. They're organizing such great events, giving you insights which you might not get from the books you study in your classroom. So really going to all these events enables you to understand how you can navigate the job market and get involved in a career which is sustainable. And you might even meet someone who's super successful in that field, and they might be able to mentor you, guide you. So if I am not wrong, or if I've got the question right, this was my understanding that, you've got an interest in something as a student, how you can take that forward into your career. How do you do that? It's through making sure that you truly make the most out of that student event, that student society that you're a part of, and use that society to connect with experts from that field across the globe. Because, when you're a part of, let's say, the blockchain society, and you're emailing a blockchain expert that, hey, I am a committee member of the blockchain society at King's College London, and I'd like to know more about, the different career paths that I could take. Utilize the King's name, that society, to really get more guidance from people and take your career forward.
Thank you,
So,
Marmin.
what knowledge has your involvement in student politics brought to your life after King, and how have you applied your time at KCLSU in your subsequent career? Okay, student politics again. Student politics really enabled me to learn more about activism, around changing the world, about raising your voice, around bringing like-minded people together, about starting a campaign. And again, the way I was effectively learning how to bring people together for a specific campaign to raise our voice really helped me around effectively leading on my charitable projects around 1 million meals and of course Taiba. Because when I was involved in the Students' Union, I was so involved with all these different campaigns. At times I was a part of it, at times I was starting campaigns, negotiating with the university on enhancing the student experience, being involved with the National Union of Students, raising my voice on global issues. So it just really, you develop skills that really help you, and they have helped me a lot after I graduated. And my time at KCLSU, where I was, it's like an organization, you've got more than 30 staff members working there. You've got a fund of more than a couple of million pounds that you manage with a team of experts. So it just all helps you learn different skills around working in a team building, even effectively dealing with the PR crisis, because that is one thing that you really experience as a student leader. Even dealing with criticism, that's a great skill. How do you deal with criticism and destructive criticism at times? Because Students' Union at times can the journey can be turbulent. You can face a lot of criticism, and being accountable for what you pledge. As part of the Students' Union, you have a manifesto, and after 1 year you are held accountable for what you did because of what you promised. So really standing by your vision, standing by all that you plan, and making sure you effectively achieve all that you promised, and holding yourself to account also. So the different skills you learn from being part of the Students' Union. And I am glad I ran in the elections. I'm glad I got that opportunity to lead on a Students' Union, because it gave me certain skills that have really helped me now in my life. And as I said, made me a more well-rounded individual.
Thanks, Marmin. I guess a follow-up question on that would be for recent grads who wouldn't have had the opportunity to join a student union.
Yeah.
What kind of opportunities at King's as recent grads would you recommend they join? Oh, what kind of you mentioned the King's Entrepreneurship Institute, but maybe for people who are less entrepreneurial, are there other opportunities at King's that you think they should go for as recent grads?
Yeah, okay. So the entrepreneurship is a great opportunity, but if there are people who might not be interested in it, as I said, the King's College London Alumni Council is a great opportunity for you to get involved, connect with different alumni from the last 40 years, and then work with them on different initiatives. The King's Global Day of Service is a great opportunity around, again, volunteering, service to society enhances your well-being. It also enables you to develop different skills. That's a great opportunity. Apart from that, different events organized by the student societies. You can have a look at the KCLSU website. You can attend some of those events. And again, all these things would continuously make sure that you are still connected with the institution. You are connected with all these young, innovative people who are so passionate about changing the world. And at the same time, I believe it would also enhance or benefit what you're currently doing in life. Because, and again, it's a very off the topic thing that I forgot to mention. As an alumni, you can even access the libraries. It's a great vibe. If you get your card made. So there are so many different things that you can use to get involved in. You bring together the alumni from your community, from your country, from the city that you're in. Bring them together for a lunch or an evening or an event. Why not? You don't even realize the kind of skills you develop and how it really helps you in different ways.
Thank you very much, Momin. I'm seeing that we are reaching the end of this webinar. I wonder if you want to add one last tip for recent grads and students before we close.
It's just that, stay connected with your institution. Keep working on making the world a better place. Keep smiling, and keep progressing. That's just a quick last message from my side, because I think I've really spoken my heart out, encapsulating my whole journey at King's and the different opportunities King's has to offer to its students and alumni. So yeah, I've said it all.
Thank you very much, Momin. It's just so amazing to see how enthusiastic you are and how you really feel that King's has been your family and still is your family after you've graduated. I forgot to mention that you've got a TED Talk when you talk about cultural competency, so I'll share this on the chat now. And I really want to say a huge thank you to you for giving your time today and sharing your incredible experience. And I'm sure a lot of people would like to stay in touch with you after this webinar. And as you mentioned, go for it. Just go and contact.
Thank you very much, Francine. It was an honor being on this webinar with you. And thank you for all your hard work around organizing this. We just get to see, this webinar for 45 minutes, but the amount of hard work that you put into it around organizing this is absolutely commendable and something that has to be appreciated. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Momin. Thank you very much. So just before we leave, I just wanted to mention that as you've heard, we have the King's Global Day of Service on 25th of March. So make sure to check out our alumni events page and the King's Service page to make sure you're not missing any opportunities. We are organizing a one-off mentoring conversation during the entire month of March on King's Connect. So make sure to check this out. Information are on the platform. And we are also having an in-person mentoring meetup event on the 24th of March, and there's still time to register. So make sure to do so. One last thing, if you have any question about what was shared today, don't hesitate to get in touch with us by emailing us at forever@kcl.ac.uk and through our social media channels at KCL Alumni. If you like to share this webinar with your networks, don't forget to use the hashtag #ForeverKings. That's it for me. Thank you once again, Momin, for joining us today, and thank you all for listening.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.